Seriously, I have a really weird feeling, you guys. I don't feel right. If I look at the XRP charts, they make me feel very strange, like they're telling me something bad might be coming, and it has to do with the OCT. I don't know why that is the case. Dominus map, so could we tell that something bad is about to happen? Maybe a black swan event? Let's look into it and find out. From the Crypto Nexus chat, hey guys, take a look at what's going on here. Paulo, the CEO of Tether, just wrote, Bitcoin Black Friday, I think today or yesterday. Great. If you've been paying attention, I think it was today, but once upon a time on November 26th, he said that there would be a Black Friday sale of Bitcoin. When was that? What happened around that date? November 26, 2021 was the exact high point. That's when we started this long correction. Now, I know that if we do dump, it won't be like this at all. I think it will be very different, and I think it will happen very quickly. But this chart supports the idea that we're probably going to go a lot lower. What do you guys notice about these crazy charts? I look at them every day, nonstop every second. Okay, here's what I found very strange. This is the XRP versus Bitcoin pairing. What do you guys notice? We had the large liquidation candle on October 10th, and then it stayed in this range. Now, guess what's been happening? We're in an uptrend, right? But here's what's so strange about this uptrend. XRP isn't moving up when XRP versus Bitcoin pairing is going, so it tells us that. According to the fact that Bitcoin has been falling in value, XRP and many other cryptocurrencies have been holding their own against Bitcoin. I don't think I've ever seen this happen before. Altcoins usually die when Bitcoin drops in value, but I have seen it happen before, and we called it the bottom of the... That was the only time I've ever seen this happen. Bitcoin made a new low, but altcoins made a higher low. Okay, so let's look at our USDC dominance chart because I have some major developments. You guys remember that on the 5-day, we talked a lot about this, and we called 4 bad news bears. Literally right there, as soon as we confirmed the candle and held support on top of the 5-day moving average, we said we were in the storm, under it, below it, we were out of the storm, right? It was all sunshine and rainbows. Well, guess what we're doing now? That was the 5-day okay. Now we've made it to the 3-day and it's breaking out. Look at how it's held resistance several times before. This is the first time it's about to break out, guys. But I called for this move a long time ago. I have the video, can I? I saved these videos on my notepad, right? My predictions. I'm gonna try to find the video if I can, because I did say that this chart, if we're within. As a result of the storm, this chart will likely go like this and then die. That's why XRP hasn't been dying. They're protecting the price of XRP until Bitcoin dies like this. When Bitcoin dies like this, XRP will fall, but it won't fall too far. It'll probably just go back to $2 while Bitcoin is back at like $80,000 or $90,000. Let me see if I can find the video. Will you look at this, guys? I think I posted this about 2 weeks ago where XRP was at. XRP was at $2.57. Bitcoin was at $110,000. But we talked about this a long time ago as well. This is the only link I could find. It was in my notepad. I think this is the way things are going to go, which is why XRP and other altcoins aren't dropping as much. They're saving that for when Bitcoin actually takes the final fall. When that happens, altcoins will release that last lower, right? Maybe. Let me play this video again to remember what I said. I think this chart will go up like this, and at some point it will peak in 2026. When that happens, cryptos will skyrocket. I believe it will happen very quickly because they are preparing all this liquidity to be taken at some point. Wow, that was just amazing extra VOD, right? It was clear and simple as 1, 2, 3. That means that for the UCT, that diamond chart like this still, right? We still have some way to go. For Bitcoin, that would mean, I think, up to that, right? The previous Ultima high test, retest, right? And then, so that's why I've been wondering why XRP has been holding so strong. Take a look at the 5-minute chart. Look at this. It dumps, recovers, dumps, recovers, dumps, recovery, dumps. This has been going on for a long time. Then look at this. It pumps, dumps, price protects itself, pumps again. That was ETF news. The price of Bitcoin dropped, which is very interesting. It's not like the magic coin that was about to fall off a cliff. This is Bitcoin versus gold, and the trend line goes back to 2013, so it has finally been broken. Support, 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 all the way through. It broke out earlier this year, it held resistance, and now it's finally following through with the trend of possibly reversing downwards, right? So I know for sure the cycle hasn't topped. We're not at the end of the bull market yet, but I think we will go down before we go up. Okay, guys, Credible Crypto gives his opinion on this. He drew out an interesting path that Bitcoin could take, which takes us back to its previous all-time high, and then it skyrockets. That's the path I'm thinking, right? Because I said that a long time ago. It's interesting to see that someone else has the same opinion as me, and Credible Crypto is a great analyst, so let's watch this. Once more, this is the most bearish case because the cycle top is in. This is also the least likely scenario, but let's play devil's advocate and say that if it happened, we would probably see something like what we saw in Bitcoin at 6,000 before our breakdown at 3,000 in 2018, namely some kind of a corrective structure here, consolidating above this area support and getting weaker with each bounce. And then melting through, even if that happened, we'd still expect money to flow out of Bitcoin and into all other coins during this time of sideways chop. To be fair, I think it's very unlikely that Bitcoin will reach this level, but just to be safe, if it does, it means that people are pulling their money out of Bitcoin. At that point, it would be a distribution top, and big investors sell Bitcoin to make money during these times. Another thing that usually happens when Bitcoin distributes, and this has happened before, is that money flows to altcoins. This is because Bitcoin profits are moved into smaller coins that can pump more easily and make more money in less time. This is called an alt season. We would still expect a huge alt season to happen, even if the worst thing that could happen is true, and this is the top, the end of the fifth wave, and the market is breaking down. Wow, those guys are so interesting. I don't know what he means when he says that even if we are winning, we'll still have an alt season, right? I don't think it will go this way at all. This is the way I think we should go. For a repeat, I think he drew a line that goes back to his previous all-time high. I don't know where he talks about this yet. It's so fuzzy that I can't even tell. Do you agree, sir? Yes. And then we come back V-shaped from there. That's really strange. In fact, I drew the same thing and I had never seen this movie before. This is really interesting, guys. That's what I think will happen like in a few months or so.